Could you guys talk about some of the evidence that we learned from the eruption of Mount St. Helens in correlation to the Grand Canyon and its formation?
On May 18, 1980, Mount St. Helens blew up. With this explosion, a northward-facing blast going 6 miles to Spirit Lake, which is near the summit of Mount St. Helens, it devastated a lot of old Earth assumptions that people had, a philosophy called uniformitarianism. One of the key words with the Mount St. Helens explosion on May 18, 1980 is the word rapid. Everything about the geologic processes of this incredible explosion was very rapid. And so what we found as a result of the Mount St. Helens explosion was we had, for example, a thermonuclear blast zone. We found that the trees were flattened, that everything was absolutely devastated. It looked like a lunar landscape. It looked like a thermonuclear blast zone. Secular scientists were saying it's going to take centuries for this area to recover. The answer is it only took decades. And we find that the elk had returned to the area. We found that the bunny rabbits and all sorts, in other words, the fauna and the flora came back en masse and has repopulated that area with the plants and animals. But in relation to Grand Canyon, nobody was there to see Grand Canyon form, and Grand Canyon is not mentioned in Scripture. But what we suggest is, based on the physical evidence of Grand Canyon, it looks like a lot of water over a short period of time. When we observe Mount St. Helens, and we were there for the Mount St. Helens explosion, we find rapid sedimentation, not waterborne sediments, but volcanic sediments that look incredibly like some of the sediments that we see at Grand Canyon. So I think that we can go ahead and make a comparison between the two. We're talking about the rapidity, how rapid the sediments were laid down at Mount St. Helens, and suggesting that the same sedimentation rates may have occurred at Grand Canyon. And so everything about Mount St. Helens was rapid. As a biologist, I'm very interested in seeing the biological recovery of Mount St. Helens. Again, the secular scientists were saying it would take centuries for the recovery. We found that it recovered very, very quickly. Why is that so significant? We believe in a worldwide flood that occurred 4,500 years ago. The flood lasted approximately 1 year, a little over a year. When Mr. Noah and his family stepped off of the ark, they looked at an area that, well, as Shem said to his father, "Dad, this looks like a lunar landscape." Mr. Noah said, "Yeah, son, it really looks like a thermonuclear blast zone." And so that, just think of somebody you're listening. The point simply is that they didn't think that probably there'd be any significant recovery, and yet, of course, there was. The animals migrated off the ark, and the area recovered in record time.